2020 was a crazy year for us with the schedule changes, and it ended up basically all getting either canceled or postponed back into October. We're gonna have a couple double headers at a few tracks and World Champs, so it's basically gonna equal 4 World Cups and World Champs. I was really excited. World Champs was at Leogang, one of my favorite all-time tracks, and I felt like I had a really good chance of winning that race. I was interested to kind of see where things would stack up after all the time off, and just ready to kind of get back into the groove again.
What do you think of Europe, Gwin?
Pretty cool. It's like kind of just starting to set in. I don't know, it didn't hit me until just now when you start like seeing stuff you see in videos and stuff. Before it was just like another place. It felt like you could just drive there. So it's just kind of starting to set in that we're like on the other side of the ocean. It's pretty sick.
Dude.
It's good, sick, track's fun. I'm gonna take a walk now after my first run so I can see where I'm going. It's just like heading into the abyss. Almost died here.
18, 19, 21, 2 into the first place!
We took more chances and some of them paid off and some did, so I'm happy with it though, it's good.
What are you thinking right now? You're in the hot seat, first time to Europe.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know, just kind of watching these guys come down, a little nervous, so we'll see how far I can stay up there, I guess.
I feel like a year ago you weren't,
Yeah, I know.
You didn't really know Sam. You didn't know any of this.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty crazy. This happened pretty quick, but I'm not complaining, so. Kind of sucks now the season's over, and I feel like this was the first race where I started feeling pretty good on the bike and kind of letting it go a little more on my runs, not so conservative. And I made a lot of mistakes today, but it was just cool to be on such a fun track and just learned a lot this weekend again.
The World Championships is an interesting race in mountain biking. It's one race run. When you finish the race, if you win it, you can call yourself a world champion. So there's just a lot of kind of hype and prestige and pressure around that one-day race. It is different because you have to perform on the day. I've had a lot of really weird luck at World Champs and just maybe not rode my best at a few of them. So I've got 5 World Cup titles and 20 or so World Cup wins, but I've never won a World Championship.
This year, finally the one where you can go for the rainbow jersey?
Yeah, I hope so, and we're going to give it everything we've got. To be able to win a Worlds this weekend would be pretty incredible, so that's what we're trying to do.
We're doing interviews now. Yeah, like it's been like a year since we've been at the race.
Are you beginning to get over questions about you not having a rainbow jersey yet and that sort of thing?
No, not really. I think maybe more so like a couple of years ago. Now it's kind of like whatever, like we're just here racing, so yeah. It's not like it's a big goal of mine for sure, and I definitely am motivated to get it, but I wouldn't say like I just get frustrated at the very thought of people asking me if I had it's like that here.
My process for a race weekend has always been maybe a little different than some guys. Practice for me is not a competition to just do the most runs possible and be up to speed on the very first run and just do everything wide open, full speed all the time. For me, I start pretty slow. I really like to learn the track, get a feel for things, kind of get comfortable, figure out my lines as early as possible, kind of look around, be aware of what might change come race day. If there's weather in the forecast, I like to kind of have alternate lines in my mind of what could potentially develop later on. And then I just start to slowly build speed, and then by race day, I really want to peak on that race run, and I try not to really do it much earlier than that. And then you put everything in that one run, and then you're done. It'd be hard to maintain that level for more than a couple of runs, so I try to be patient and just kind of build slow.
How's it feel? Never in the mud in a while.
Yeah, I know, we were just laughing because I was like, I haven't ridden mud since the last World Cup over a year ago. So, and this is like one of the muddiest, maybe hardest courses I've ever ridden. So it's a good, like, right back into it.
The course this year at World Champs was a lot different than in years past. Honestly, I was a little bit bummed when we showed up and we saw the course changes. For me, and just knowing where my strengths were and what I was really looking forward to with Leo Gang, and especially the last part of that track always being really strong for me, and the way that that last section was cut in, we just knew it was going to be, you know, really difficult to ride, especially knowing that the weather we were supposed to have that week was clearly supposed to be horrible, you know, rain and snow.
How you going? Hey, Les. It's quite a bit worse than yesterday.
Did we get practice there?
Yeah, I just did one easy run. Stopped a bunch to look at stuff. Pretty difficult. You just gotta be okay with, like, fast not feeling fast. Always got the nerves going and stuff, so you don't really feel like pounding down a lot of food. Yeah, it'll be a tricky day. It's been raining quite a bit. Whoever wins today is gonna earn it, that's for sure.
By race day, I actually felt pretty good. My last practice run, I felt like if I could do that run perfectly, I might actually have a shot at winning in those conditions.
2 for 2, baby, let's go.
Nice, race day.
Let's go. I'm not gonna lie, it's conditions are really starting to deteriorate up there.
Yeah, as well down here. It's very cold and windy.
Dude, it's gnarly at the top. It's like a hurricane.
For race run, we pedaled out of the Stargate in the snow, so I could say that's the first time in my career I've ever done that. So in that way it was kind of cool, but unfortunately the race run really didn't go well. I made a couple really big mistakes in the middle and lost some time, and then at the bottom of the track and all that steep technical stuff, I had come out of my clip and got it filled up with mud and couldn't get back, clipped into my pedals, and basically rode the last minute and a half completely unclipped, and you just couldn't do that, you know, on that track and have any shot at putting down a good time. I didn't put it together, you know, mentally I made some mistakes. It was disappointing, but also motivating because I felt like I was getting back up to speed, and we were gonna have, you know, a couple more races the next couple of weeks, and I knew I was still a little bit behind where I normally am.
It's pretty annoying, Clay. Pretty friggin' waste of time that was.
But I felt like we were making progress every day, so I was excited to get to that next race in Maribor. The racetrack in Maribor is one of my favorites, actually. It's one of the funnest tracks to ride. There's not a lot of World Cup tracks that I would say you would have a great time on a Saturday just going and doing casual runs on. But Maribor is just one of those tracks that's really fun. The track has a natural, like, really good flow to it. It's more technical and difficult as you go fast. So it becomes more about speed and kind of being precise with your lines and all that. If it's wet, obviously it gets a lot trickier. Nice to have some sun today. It's supposed to be like torrential downpour tomorrow.
Holy, that is some muddy stuff. It's been wet all weekend, but now the rain stopped. It's turning into peanut butter.
How'd yesterday go for you?
It's okay. I just kind of didn't have like the intensity up. I could have definitely pushed harder. I feel like I'm about at preseason intensity.
How was today?
Sucked. I'm glad that we get to ride again tomorrow.
You need to want to win these races more than you're afraid to ride in the condition or pushing these conditions. And that's what the top guys are doing, and that's the place that we need to get to.
Dakota, what's your first memory of Aaron Gwin?
I was at a World Cup in 2015 in Wyndham.
With all the pressure on his shoulders this afternoon, from the USA, the Gwinner.
At the time, I really didn't even know who Aaron was. I was really new to the sport.
Fastest in qualifying, and again, my word, he wasn't even on any line there, he just set
Like I had come down much earlier, and I was standing on the side of the track, and I remember watching Aaron come down and everyone run down the track to the finish corral after he went through.
They're running on the track behind him. Aaron Gwin is coming down the line now.
It was pretty epic. That was, and I was like, oh, that, okay. I get it. I get it now.
That is one of the best race runs I have ever seen.
Maribor was a bit of mixed feelings for me. It was really muddy again. By the last race, things were drying out. You know, I was able to almost get on the podium and have a good run. So it was disappointing, but it was also encouraging. Things were moving in the right way, and I was really excited for Portugal.
I feel like every day I'm just getting a few percent better. I'm getting my race intensity back. The speed is there for sure. Like I can feel it again. I'm not quite sharp enough to really like ride that edge all the way down. I feel like I'm getting really close. I just need a little more time.
Portugal was really cool. I'd heard a lot about that track. I'd never been there. I was stoked. It was a good track. It had a good mix of kind of everything, lots of different types of terrain. It had some flatter sections that were fast, some steeper sections. It had some big jumps. You know, I knew it was going to be a really physical track because it was a bit longer. The start of the track had a little bit of pedaling, and the last minute of the track had quite a bit of pedaling, so we knew it was going to be kind of one of those big fitness tracks. It was raining a little bit, but it was going to be pretty dry for the race, it looked like. So it was going to be kind of the first dry race that we had since we'd been in Europe that whole month. So yeah, I was excited. That track was really fun, and I think each day I was getting better and kind of more in tune.
But I know there's for sure more time out there.
We got on the podium, which was good. That's what I was kind of hoping for. Just another good step in the right direction, for sure. A double header, so we're gonna basically do podium right now in a few minutes, and then qualify tomorrow and race again on Sunday. So we're just gonna hit the repeat button.
Race day, yep. We got practice here in about an hour. Feel good, feel a little nervous, a little anxious as usual on race days. Maybe a little bit more so today because I feel like this is the first race run on this trip where I really feel like I'm got the pace to win. Still got a little ways to go. I feel like I'm fully up to like 100%, but I feel like we're good enough today to definitely challenge for a win. So any day in my career where I feel like you're racing, really racing for a win, you always feel that little extra nerves. I focus on like one step at a time. Like first, I just want to have a good practice, and then I'll get a couple hours to just chill, and then be up for race run. By the time we get to race run, usually do your warm up, you kind of mellow out because it's like, all right, it's just time to go ride now. So I feel like it's usually in the mornings that I kind of feel the most nerves.
Practice before the second race at Portugal, I felt the best I'd felt, the whole trip we were in Europe. And my last practice run was pretty much perfect. And I knew I just needed to dig deep at that pedal at the bottom. That was the whole goal that day, was to win that race. And I knew that, it was kind of mine to either get or lose.
Prepare for battle here today. Got nothing else to save it for. It's gonna test them physically. We used to think, wow, California kid, Like, what does he know about rain? But I mean, we've seen that now. We're not afraid of that at all. I mean, so bring it, whatever it is.
So funny how your body feels pre and post race. It's just always funny like how race influences your body and your emotions and all, like so much, because it's just another day. It's a Sunday, like it's just another day, like life will go on, whatever. But it's like you're at a World Cup race, you got one run, and it's just gonna be this huge build up to that run. Everything's like anxious and nervous and whatever. And then as soon as you cross the finish line, kind of no matter what the result is, it's like, and then you'd be so chilled the rest of the day. Like you either be chilled happy or chilled bummed or whatever, but either way, it's like the feeling that you have that's building for the last week, like goes away the second you, usually a few seconds out of the start gate, but you don't really realize it until you cross the finish line.
Yeah. As we were going up for the race run, it started raining. The track was definitely a lot slicker than it was in practice. I knew how good my last practice run was that morning, and the race run was definitely not anywhere close to what I had done earlier in the morning. I ended up pushing too hard and running off the track. That was basically the end of that run. It was a frustrating run for sure. Just honestly a good learning experience. You know, mentally I wasn't able to kind of overcome the mistakes I was making, and I got frustrated with the time I was losing.
He just kind of slid out there in one of the corners, but he said maybe a bit too aggressive. It's a tough on him.
I knew I was quite a ways off of like what I was doing in practice this morning, so I was kind of getting frustrated and then made a big mistake in the middle.
It's like one of those runs where you wish you could somehow know your split time in the middle. Because it was like within a second, and I would have thought I was 5 or 6 out, because it's just garbage. And it's like mentally you're like, it's so hard to gauge when you do a run in the dry in practice and then you do a run in the wet, because you just feel like you're losing time everywhere. And then just like making mistakes when in reality it's not really that bad, like everybody else is kind of doing the same thing. It's good, and the pace and everything is there. More than there, I think. I'm actually surprised.
It definitely felt good to be racing for a win again. I felt like my speed was there. I felt like we really had my bike working well and the setup dialed. It was a bummer of a race, but a good way to end the season. Definitely a lot of motivation. You know, those races were a great experience to kind of come into this year. I want to be fighting for wins every weekend and hopefully make another run at a World Cup overall title and a World Champs title. I still don't have that one, and it's at Val d'Isole this year, which is one of my favorite tracks. So definitely want to win a lot of races, but I want to just enjoy the experience and the blessing that this job is, because when it's over, I know, I'm definitely going to miss it someday.